Hey there, racing fans. Today, we're diving into the thrilling world of Formula One and the 2026 Chinese Grand Prix sprint qualifying. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me share a quick personal thought. I've always been a huge fan of the sprint qualifying format, and this race in Shanghai didn't disappoint. It was a rollercoaster of speed, strategy, and sheer determination. So, let's dive in and explore what made this qualifying session so captivating. First things first, the big news: George Russell claimed pole position for the sprint race on Saturday. But what makes this even more fascinating is the context. Russell and Mercedes have dominated the entire weekend, with Russell topping the practice session and setting the fastest times in all three segments of sprint qualifying. It's a testament to their speed and strategy, and it immediately raises a question: can anyone challenge Mercedes' dominance in the sprint race? Now, let's break down the key moments. In Square 3, Russell's 1 minute and 31.5 seconds on the soft tyre left him nearly 3/10 clear of Kimi Antonelli. But here's where things get interesting. Antonelli was under investigation post-session for impeding Lando Norris earlier in proceedings. This raises a deeper question: how much does track position really matter when it comes to strategy and fairness in qualifying? Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. Lando Norris, the reigning world champion, finished as the best of the rest, but was more than 6/10 behind Russell. This highlights the gap between Mercedes and the rest of the field, and it makes me wonder: is this the new normal in Formula One, or is it just a blip in an otherwise competitive season? Now, let's shift our focus to the lower end of the grid. Nico Hülkenberg just missed out on reaching the final part of sprint qualifying, and the Audi driver will start Saturday's 19-lap sprint from 11th. This raises a question: is Audi making a comeback in Formula One, or is it just a temporary blip? One thing that immediately stands out is the performance of the Williams pair of Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon. They failed to progress beyond the first part of sprint qualifying, and were joined by the Aston Martins of Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll in exiting at the first hurdle. This raises a question: is there a gap between the top teams and the rest of the field, or is it just a matter of strategy and execution? Now, let's talk about the final row of the grid. Cadillac completed the final row, with Valtteri Bottas ahead of Sergio Perez. But here's where things get interesting. Perez was unable to set a lap time due to a fuel system issue. This raises a question: how much does reliability and strategy play a role in qualifying, and how can we ensure fairness for all teams? In my opinion, this qualifying session in Shanghai was a microcosm of the larger trends in Formula One. It highlighted the dominance of Mercedes, the gap between the top teams and the rest of the field, and the importance of strategy and execution. But it also raised questions about fairness, reliability, and the future of the sport. So, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the sprint qualifying format, and how do you think it will shape the future of Formula One? One thing is for sure: Formula One is a sport that never ceases to amaze, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So, stay tuned, and let's keep the conversation going.